6 powerful parables, 1 life-changing message.
In a village long ago, a wedding was about to begin. 10 young women were chosen to welcome the bridegroom. 5 were wise. They brought extra oil with them. But 5 were foolish. They brought their lamps, and nothing more. They waited, as night slowly covered the sky. The bridegroom delayed, and all of them grew sleepy. Suddenly, at midnight, a cry rang out. "The bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him." The virgins woke up and prepared their lamps. The wise refilled their lamps with the oil they had brought. But the foolish saw their lamps were going out. "Give us some of your oil," they begged. "No," the wise replied, "there may not be enough for both of us." So the foolish went away to buy oil. And while they were gone, the bridegroom arrived. The prepared ones went in with him to the wedding feast. And the door was shut. Later, the others came back. "Lord, Lord, open the door for us." But he answered, "Truly, I do not know you." They had waited, but they were not ready. Preparation made the difference. Jesus told this story with a warning. Therefore, keep watch. For you do not know the day or the hour.
In a quiet village, a father lived with his 2 sons. One day, the younger son made a
Father,
shocking request.
Give me my share of the
"Father,
inheritance."
give me my share of the inheritance now." And though it broke his heart, the father agreed. The young man gathered everything he had and left home for a distant land. Far from home, he spent his money freely, parties, friends, and careless living. But the money didn't last forever. Soon, everything was gone. And then, a famine struck the land. What once felt like freedom became desperation. The young man found work feeding pigs, a job no one wanted. He was so hungry that even the pigs' food began to look good. And in that moment, he came to his senses. "My father's servants have food to spare, and here I am starving. I will go back home. I will tell my father I have sinned." So the young man began the long journey home, unsure of what waited for him. But while he was still far away, his father saw him coming. But the father didn't wait. When he saw his son in the distance, he ran to
Father,
him.
you came!
He
My
threw
son,
his arms
I was so
around him
worried. I'm
and
home
held
now.
him tightly.
Welcome home.
The son began to speak. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father stopped him. "Bring the best robe, put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. For this son of mine was lost and is found." And the whole house filled with music and celebration. But outside the house, the older brother stood angry. The father went out to him and said, "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate, because your brother was lost, and now he is found." And that is the heart of the father. One man lived like a king. One suffered at his gate. But after death, everything changed. Every day he dressed in fine clothes and lived in comfort. He feasted like every day was a celebration. Right outside his gate lay a forgotten man. His name was Lazarus, covered in pain and hunger. Even dogs came to lick his wounds. The rich man saw him, but chose to walk away. Lazarus longed just for scraps that fell from the table. Food was wasted, but mercy was not given. Even the servants ignored him, as if he didn't exist. And the rich man felt nothing. No compassion, no mercy in his heart. 2 lives, separated by a gate, but divided by something far greater. Then one day, Lazarus took his last breath. No one noticed. No one cared. But heaven did. Angels came and carried him gently. The rich man also died and was buried with honor. People remembered his wealth. He opened his eyes. In darkness and torment, far away, Lazarus rested in peace, safe beside Abraham. The one who had nothing now had everything. And the rich man was in agony. The comfort he once had was gone forever. He looked up and saw what he had lost. Far away, he saw Lazarus in peace, but the distance could never be crossed. He cried out in desperation, begging for just a drop of mercy. "Send Lazarus to cool my tongue. Son, remember, you received your good things. Now he is comforted, and you are in agony. Then send him to warn my family. They have Moses and the prophets. Let them listen to them. If they won't listen, they won't believe. What you ignore today may define your eternity. The choice is yours before it's too late." Eternity isn't decided later, it's decided now.
This man was forgiven everything, but what he did next will shock you. Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a king settling accounts." One servant was brought before him. He owed a debt so large he could never repay it. The king ordered that everything be taken from him. The servant fell on his knees and begged, "Have patience with me, and I will pay you back." Moved with compassion, the king forgave the entire debt. The servant walked away, completely free. But then he found someone who owed him a small amount.
He found a fellow servant who owed him very little. He grabbed him and demanded payment immediately. The man fell down and begged, "Please, have patience with me." But he refused to show mercy. Instead, he had the man thrown into prison. Until he could pay the debt, he remained locked away. When others saw this, they were deeply troubled. The king called him back and said, "You wicked servant, shouldn't you have shown mercy, just as I showed you?"
Then the king said, "Take him away and put him in prison until his debt is paid."
Look at this tiny seed in the hand. It seems so small, so easy to ignore. One day, Jesus stood before the people and showed them a mustard seed. Holding it gently, he said, "The kingdom of heaven is like this tiny seed." A farmer takes the seed and plants it carefully into the soil. Hidden beneath the ground where no one can see, something amazing begins to happen. The seed slowly sprouts and a small green plant begins to grow. Day after day, the plant grows taller and stronger. Soon it becomes one of the largest plants in the whole garden. Its branches spread wide across the field. Birds come from the sky and rest in its branches. Then Jesus looked at the people and revealed the meaning of the story. Even the smallest faith, when placed in God's hands, can grow into something truly great. As the people listened carefully, they began to understand the meaning of his story. From the smallest seed, God can grow something incredible.
A king trusted 3 servants with his treasure, but only 2 were ready. The first servant received his coins with joy. He was eager to prove faithful. The second servant also received his share. He promised to work wisely. The third servant took the coins nervously. Fear already filled his heart. Then the king left on a long journey. The servants were left to choose. The first servant worked hard every day. He traded well and gained more. Soon his small amount became double. Faithfulness brought great reward. The second servant worked with care too. He used every chance wisely. His coins also began to multiply. Diligence turned little into much. But the third servant became lazy. He wasted time and did nothing. He buried the coins in the ground. Fear made him hide his gift. After many days, the king returned. Now it was time to answer. The first servant brought back double. The king smiled with delight. "Well done, faithful servant," he said. "You shall be trusted with more." The second servant also doubled his coins. He received praise and honor too. Then came the third with only excuses. The king judged his laziness. Jesus said, "Be faithful in little things." Those who use small gifts gain greater ones.